Hello and welcome to our podcast, Body Talk Fit. I am your host and owner of Body Talk Fit, Noelle.
And I'm your co-host, Diane.
I do want to tell you what Body Talk Fit is.
Body Talk Fit is designed to help the woman enhance her sensual inner and outer self through dance. Body Talk Fit helps boost self-confidence by building appreciation and awareness of your body and how to move it.
This is a fun fitness dance class that will have your booty shaking, your hips swaying, your neck rolling, your confidence boosted, your body glistening from sweat, and your walk more sexy than when you walked in.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our Body Talk Fit podcast, which we are live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Diane and myself are in the studio, and we do have a guest, Miss Teri. She is from afar, but you should be able to see her. Yes, on live. Say hi, Miss Teri.
Hello.
So Miss Teri has written a book, and Miss Teri has self-published a book, and Teri's she's in the middle of writing another book, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So Teri's going to you want me to call you Teri Sakena?
You can call me Teri Sakena, whichever one you like.
Oh, Miss Teri, I like Teri Sakena. That just sounds so sexy. So,
It has Teri, a little ring to it, don't it?
About herself, and then we are going to get into some Q's and A's, and how to go about self-publishing a book, the do's, the don'ts, the hows, the whys, the how-tos, and all that good stuff. So, Miss Teri Sakena, tell the audience about yourself and where you from, honey.
I am from Central Texas, a small town called Brownwood. And I have actually been writing my whole life. It's like a gift that I was given. And I stopped writing for many years because I had a book of my writings that burned up in a car while I was driving it. And in the last few years, I did a little writing thing, and that's what compelled me to go ahead and write a novel.
Okay.
Just keep on going.
Okay. So what made you start writing a book?
Honestly, I was playing a game, and the friend that I was playing the game with told me that she had won in this particular writing thing. And so I read what she wrote, and I honestly was like, oh my God, that's garbage. I could write something much better. And so I went to the same site, and I wrote a paragraph. And once I wrote the paragraph, I was like, I wonder if I could write a chapter. And from there, I wonder if I could write a couple. I wonder if I could write a book. And 4 months later, I had a book.
Oh, wow. Okay. So tell everybody what your book. Okay. So the name of her book. What's the name of your book?
Never Too Much. Cradle to the Grave.
That's the first one. Never Too Much by Teri Sakena. Oh, you got one?
Yes,
okay. So tell everybody what Never Too Much is, and why is it like a subtitle, Cradle to the Grave? Tell everybody the story behind that.
Okay. So Never Too Much is something that I was in a relationship, and my fiance came home one day and he said, do you love me? And I said, of course I do. And he said, how much? And I said, probably too much. And he said, oh, it's never too much. So that kind of just stuck with me, because how could you have too much friendship, too much love, too much, whatever, whether it's good or bad, all things lead to one another, and they usually work out for our good, right? So that's where I got Never Too Much from. The Cradle to the Grave, as I was telling you when I came in your waiting room, you look a lot like my childhood friend, and our mothers were best friends. And so we literally are cradle to the grave. We're like 5 weeks apart. So she's my first friend, my longest friend. And the book actually is about them recapturing the main character and another character recapturing that friendship, which is kind of she and myself. And so that's why I chose the Cradle to the Grave.
Oh, wow. Nice. So Miss Teri and I talked yesterday for the first time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my other guest wasn't able to make the show. So I was like, dang, we got to get this topic out because I've been trying to do this show for 3 weeks, how to self-publish a book, because I've
Oh,
written a book, and I haven't put it through the editing process yet because I keep going back to the book and adding stuff to it. OMG, I'm like, okay, when am I gonna finish? I mean, come on, Noelle. I mean, when you gonna finish this? You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
so a mutual friend, she was like, you know what? Last night in class, she was like, girl, I got the perfect person for you. So she was like, I'm gonna give you Teri's number. So last night I called Teri. It was about what, about eight? Girl, it was about what, 8:30?
Yep.
8:30
Yep.
p.m. last night, and we just clicked on the phone. She was like, girl,
Yes,
we just
ma'am.
gonna vibe tomorrow. I was like, we just gonna vibe
Right.
tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So cool.
Ex-
I thank you for being on the show.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
so I just mentioned how I started writing the book. I haven't put it through the editing process yet because I keep going back and forth on it, just adding stuff, taking away stuff.
Right.
Do I want to include this really? Do I want to tell too much about myself because it's a biography, right? Um,
Right.
it's not a biography, correct?
No, it's not a biography. It's actually fictionalized truth.
We talked about that
If you
earlier.
read something about
That's the new
yourself, don't
genre.
tell nobody.
That's the new genre you made. So, okay. So, how long ago did you start writing the book, and how long did it take you to write it?
I started writing it, and it's actually funny. I have it on the last page because I was very detailed in writing this book as to the dates and when I would sit down when I started and when I finished. And so the very last thing on the book, if you can see it right there,
Yeah.
shows the dates.
Okay.
The
So,
dates
what does that
ended
mean?
up being,
What does that say?
well, I have a cousin. If you guys heard about a girl getting trampled to death, the first trampling death in the United States in Dallas at Don Carter Bowling Alley, her name was Mayeti Tillman. I called her Gooch, and I didn't even realize it, but I started writing my book on her birthday. And the day that I finished and closed it and said I'm done, it was my grandfather's birthday. And it took exactly 4 months. So that's why it says Gooch and Cowboy. That was their nicknames and their birth dates.
Wow, how nice. So
So
you
it has their birth dates with the 19.
Wow. See, okay, so it took her 4 months to write this book, y'all. Okay, but I was telling
Yeah,
her
four
earlier, I was
months,
like, girl, I started writing my book in 2000.
4 years.
It's now 2023, okay? But like I said,
This
it
one's
takes
4 years.
okay, so that's your next one, right?
Yes.
Okay, never too much. Okay, so that one took 4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't feel too bad. I don't feel too bad. And that is would you call that a sequel, you say? Because
Fictionalized truth.
but it's piggybacking off of each other. It's not the exact same book, is it though?
No, so the main title of the series of books is Never Too Much. The first one is The Cradle to the Grave, of course. That one's called One Way Ticket, and the last one is called Mortal Coil.
Okay. So I know
And
it
they
took you
all
4 months.
tie in.
It took you 4 months to write that book. It took the 4 years to write the first one, and then 4 months to write the second one.
4 months.
Right, 4 months. Right. So, did you do the editing yourself, or did you hire a professional editor?
So my aunt is an author as well, and she was my original editor. And then I actually used readers. I'm very unorthodox. So I used readers, and I just had like maybe 6 people. I think it was, yeah, 6 people reading, and they would send in, the errors that they saw, and also questions, and what they thought about the book, what characters stood out. I had questions and stuff for them so that I could continue writing. And then I pretty much, after my aunt did maybe the first 20 chapters, and then the last ones I finished the editing on.
So it took you 4 months to start writing and finish editing. Dang,
Yes,
girl.
ma'am.
Dang.
I
So
was
you
published.
was writing like every day, wasn't you?
Oh yeah, I was obsessed with it.
Were you?
I was totally engrossed.
That's how I was the first 6 months when I started writing. But since mine is a biography, And I had to start writing against, about my life. It started getting very emotional for me, so it was a very emotional write.
Right.
Even to this
Of
day, like
course.
I read over this book I read over it every 2 weeks. And then it continues to get emotional for me. And I'm like, okay, Noelle, you can add more to this, because my lawyer, I had to hire a lawyer
Right.
because, my story, everything behind my
Yeah.
story. He was like, you have so much to tell. He said, you have so
Yeah.
much to tell. You need to tell more. And I'm like, Matthew, I don't know if I want to tell more. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, no, he said, you need to tell more. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's healing. It's some of the stuff that I don't want to write about myself, I just put it into the character that portrays my life. And you can make it better, you can make it worse, you can kind of, reverb it, whatever. That's why I say it's fictionalized truth, because it's mostly the truth, but you got to put some fiction in there, because you have, like you said, you had to hire an attorney. You got all these people coming. You told my story. You said this, and I
right,
didn't give you permission. I'm gonna sue you. Well,
right.
I mean, I kind of fudged it and added some stuff in there that you shouldn't want people to know. So if you want to put that shoe on, by all means, I'll see you in court.
Right. Yeah. So okay. So in your book, I know it's fictional, but some truth and some put added stuff in there, right? So
Right.
of course you made up names. You didn't use the right names, right? Of
No.
course. Now in my book, I don't even use names.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't.
At
Now
all?
for two characters, I use names. For everybody else, I don't. Yeah.
How do you talk about them?
Right. I say my best friend, my first ex, my second ex, my third ex. I don't put a name to it. I say my son.
Identifiers.
Identifier. So I don't put my
Yeah.
son's names in there, because my oldest son actually requested that I don't even talk about him in my book.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
I just say my sons, right? I tell the story about my sons. I don't use it like so I tell stories about there's a chapter in there, the quest for love, right? And I
Right.
talk about three of my exes, right? And I just say first ex, second ex, third ex. Right? Okay. So
I like this.
and I say, because I'm adopted. We didn't have that discussion, right? I'm
Oh my
adopted, so
goodness.
I also say my mother, which is my, adopted mother, and I explain that in
Hmm.
there. I'm gonna call her mom because that's my mom, and I also say my
Right.
birth mother, right? Birth mother, birth father, and my dad. So I don't give none of them names. I just say mom, dad, birth mother,
Oh,
birth father.
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That'll
Um,
keep you out of trouble.
that part. So I was like,
Right.
So did you? So I guess you wrote all of this yourself. You didn't have, now they have like artificial intelligence, right? Where you can just
Right.
um, tell the computer what you want, and then they write it. Girl, I ain't know nothing about this until like a month ago, and my
That is
yeah, somebody
weird.
was like, why don't you use AI to finish to add something in? And I was like, no, because I don't
No.
feel like it's me. You know what I'm saying? And then still, I don't even know where I would go to even do it. But I had a girlfriend that mentioned that she used that to write a whole policy on her studio. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I guess she just told the AI what she wanted, right?
Yeah.
And then they wrote a whole dang policy book. I was like, but what kind of stipulation and what legalities are involved with that? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they got a copy of all of that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't use no ghostwriter or
Well,
nothing. You wrote all of this yourself.
well, not to mention, that when you write, you have a style. I think every writer has a certain style about themselves, and I just can't imagine AI or a co-author or somebody like that writing with me unless they're writing opposite of me. So I have spoken to an author named Octavius Williams. He writes kind of like hood stories about us writing a book back and forth. Like I write a chapter, he write a chapter. kind of going back and forth like that. But to write with somebody, like my writing style is so different from anything I've ever read that I don't think, it would suffice me, or I'm sitting here reading it like, who wrote that?
Right. That's not me. That's
I'd
not
rather
me talking.
just
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
no. Right.
So we're gonna get into like where, like, okay, so you're self-published. So
Yes, ma'am.
did you begin your research on how you were going to promote your book and how you were going to publish and where you were going to publish it before you even began to write it? You just said
Nope.
you got okay. So did you get a piece of paper or did you type it up?
I typed it. I wrote a lot of it, but we had a Thanksgiving dinner. I have a big family, and so my cousin was debuted in a book of different women about their lives, so they all like wrote a chapter. And so everybody's all raving like, "Oh my God, look at this. Ashley's in a book." And I was like, "Yeah, by next Thanksgiving, I'm going to have a book." I'm just petty. So I wrote.
Oh, wow.
I'm being honest. I just wrote.
You was like, "Oh well, I'm gonna put it out there." So I wrote all my.
I'm gonna write the whole book by myself, and y'all
did.
better be ready to buy it.
Right. This is what I did. When I said I started writing it in it may have been 2019. No, it was 2019. I mean 2018, 2019. Girl, okay. So whenever I felt the inkling to start to write something that came to my head, I would just get a piece of paper and start writing. Girl, I got so much stuff on like the back of the liability form.
No way.
I had some cut up, right? And I just started writing. So I would be on a plane. I would just start writing. I would be like, one time I went on vacation to Las Vegas. I was sitting there. I just started writing. I'm at a pool, just started writing. Last year I went to Cancun. I was at the beach looking at that pretty water. I was like, Noelle, finish this book. You know what I'm saying? So I just started writing. I got a piece of paper and just went to the store in the hotel and got me a notepad and just started writing. So I had when it was time to type it up, I had shit everywhere. Okay.
I know you did.
I had stuff that I couldn't even find. I was like, I know I wrote this chapter. Where's this chapter at? Girl, I had to rewrite chapters because I couldn't find the stuff that I had written, right? It was crazy. Hey, Ben. Hey, Dominic. So it was like, I knew I had stuff, at the studio that I had written up. I knew I had stuff like in my trunk I had written up. I had stuff, girl, at my desk at home I had written up. So I had to gather all of this stuff up and try to find it all and compile it and start typing it up. So yeah,
the old school way.
Write it up, and then I had to go back and find all that stuff to type it up.
Oh no.
Lord.
So it would have taken me a lot less time too if I didn't lose all this information.
And with the stuff that you wrote, like say one notebook and the other, was it like little bits and pieces of one notebook was a whole kind of book and the other was a whole kind, and you had to piece those things together because nothing was like one chapter here, one chapter there.
But at least I would number the page in the bottom. In the bottom right corner, I would number how when you was in school and you had to write papers, right? At least I number them in the bottom where I say, okay, if there's, let's say there's 50 pieces of paper right here, right? I could at least say that goes with this. Read the last 4 words on the bottom of the sheet, and then read the first 4 at the top, and then piece it together. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. So I would not suggest that to anyone who
at all.
You're like, this chapter is on the napkin somewhere.
I did. I used napkins. Is that right? Girl, when I was on the plane in Southwest, I was like, "Can you give me a napkin?" I was writing on napkins. Crazy.
How could you ever even put all that together?
So if you are wanting to write a book, be prepared. Well, have some paper if you want to write it up, or have your laptop. Okay. And
do not.
things are gonna come to mind now. some things are going to come to mind when you don't have your laptop. So let's say you're a writer. I'm old school. Let's say you like to type. I'm old school. I like to write. We had this conversation before. Okay. I like to write stuff out. I got my notebook right here. Okay?
Me too. Yes.
And I write stuff out. So just carry your notebook on you at all times, okay? So you can have all of your stuff in one place.
They don't write no more. This generation, everything is with their thumbs. Or I will stop typing my text and sit down and get a pen and paper, and I have to scribble something out.
But even you can record in your phone, right? You can even
You can do speech to text, like in the writing document. You can talk, and the computer will keep up with it. But I find when it comes to stuff like that, I'm super old school. Like I have to type it myself. I just have to, because if you're talking and you don't realize you've made a mistake, while you're talking, and you go back and you're like, what the hell is that?
Right,
I don't even know what this sentence is. And I type like 106 words a minute, so I type really fast, so I'll just bang it out.
I put it all together, all of my papers. Now they all together.
Well, here's another thing for you, Noelle. On Amazon, they have a thing called Kindle Vella stories, and you put them on there. They're called they not call them chapters. They call them whatever the word is. You like the first 3, which I say are chapters, are free to whoever's reading it, whatever story. And then after that, they got to buy keys for the next chapters, going forward, in order for them to read them. But as soon as you write the first 3 chapters of each story, they automatically give you money. And so you can put it, I have 3 stories trending on there right now, but you can put your book on there. You can put, that, like, just put a couple of chapters, see what kind of reviews or how many people are like reading it and wanting that next, so then that way you can be building up and finishing your book while still putting something out there, because that'll give you the incentive to want to finish it.
What you say that's called? Let me write it down.
It's called Kindle Vella, Vella stories.
What you say? Vella? Yeah. Kindle.
Yeah, Vella, Kindle Vella stories.
That's on Amazon.
Yeah, well, everything on Amazon is through KDP.
Right.
K like Kite, D like Derek, P like Paul, KDP Publishing. They merged with Amazon. And so all of the stuff is on there. But if you type in Kindle Vella, it'll ask you if you want to write or read a story.
Girl, what? Okay, so do you have to have the book published in order to do that first?
Nope. You can put it up chapter by chapter.
Really?
Yeah, and the first 3 chapters, the consumer reads for free. And after you publish the first 3 chapters, they give you money. It depends on how long your chapters are, how many words they have in them. And then after that, people start. So say you've written 3 chapters and I want to go to chapter 4. Well, I have to buy keys. And like say it might be 10 keys or whatever. And that's how you get paid. And that's how I get to read the next part of the story. And so it'll go chapter by chapter. Oh, they call it episodes. That's what it is.
Roughly, how many pages do you have in a chapter in your book?
Let's see, because you asked me earlier how many let's see. I'm gonna say they vary, but anywhere from these kids have scribbled all in my book. Anywhere from 3 pages. Some of them are 3 pages, and some of them might be 18 or 19. I just went, as I was writing, if it stopped, if I felt like the chapter stopped right there, I'd stop it and just make the title of the next chapter, and I just kept going.
Okay. So we talked about KDP.
And so
we talked about KDP, and we
KDP.
talked about Amazon. So the next question for you, I was going to ask you what platforms and or bookstores can you find your book if someone wanted to purchase it?
I don't right now have them in any bookstores. What happened when I published this one, COVID hit right afterwards. And so once I get the trilogy done, once all 3 books are done, then I'm going to see about getting it posted. The thing is with this second book right here, I already got people want to turn it into film because it's about somebody's life, and I'm writing it. And it's actually written from a man's point of view because it's about his life.
Now, was that what you
And
was
so
telling me earlier?
I don't. Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
telling you about earlier. And so I haven't really, I don't know how, honestly, to do that. I've never really thought about it. I'm more of a hands-on person. So I've been more like meet people, shake their hand, book signings, one-on-one referrals, people telling people about me and me having that one-on-one connection. I haven't gotten, to me, that's next level. And I honestly hadn't even thought about getting it published. So in order to get a book, you have to get it through Amazon or you got to order it through me. When it's ordered through me, I sign every single book that I've ever sold has my signature with a little.
Oh, where'd she go?
Oh shoot, we lost her, y'all. Oh, did we lose her?
She's coming back.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, there she goes.
So what you're saying, you can get it through you or how else?
Amazon.
Okay.
And if
So
you get
you
it from
said-
me,
you said that-
I
you said that
autograph.
You said that you autographed Amazon?
No, every book that's ever been ordered from me is autographed and
Gotcha.
dated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you
when we
mentioned-
make it to the big screen, then they can come back like, "Hey, I got a book from her.
Right,
She signed it."
Now you mentioned book signings and stuff like that. When you actually published your book, did you have a huge book signing? How did you go about doing that?
I had a book signing with like close people. I had what was it, 2 or 3, maybe 3. But when I was ready to get on the road, and go different places and do book signings, COVID hit.
Right.
Right when I got like 150 books in, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do 3 book signings, and then I'm gonna order 500 books, and it was like COVID, so it went from being out and doing books to being at home and trying to figure out how do I get these books sold. So it was through a game that I play, TikTok, Facebook. Most of the people that have my books are people that I don't even know, or people that support me, one or the other. But people that are like, right, girl, I didn't know you wrote a book. It's been 4 years. How you know I ain't write a book?
Right.
You
So
just don't want to know.
So if you're just now joining us, this podcast is about how to self-publish a book. We do have a guest via
Tell us.
Via streaming.
Yes, via streaming, because she's not located near the studio anywhere. So we do have Miss Teri Sakena, which is a self-published author that has joined us. So if you're just not joining us live, or if you're just not tuning in, that's what we're talking about. I mean, how to go about self-publishing, how to start writing, what to put in the book, and all that good stuff. So
yes, ma'am.
You can find her book, which is name it again, Teri. Show it again.
Never too much. I'm all, where am I? Cradle.
Ain't that a song? Never too much.
Yeah, Luther Vandross. That's what it.
Vandross, baby.
Hey, that's the last thing. Let me see. Let me get up here. It says and it says, I grabbed my husband's hand and agree. You are correct. Never too much, with Luther Vandross playing.
Oh, how sweet. Okay, so you can find Never Too Much on Amazon. And that is the only platform she has it on now. She is, because we getting that book in stores. You need to go around bookstores and get that book in stores.
We will do that soon.
I know. So do you have any because I think there's a couple of local Black owned bookstores here. Do y'all have any in your area?
Absolutely not. We barely got Black people.
Girl, shut up. Oh Lord. Okay.
We like a 19th of the population.
Oh, Lord. So I'm going to find out the name of that because I want to actually try to put my book in that bookstore as well.
Yeah, I would love.
There's
Yeah.
a girl that used to come to my class. She just wrote a book not too long ago, and she
Uh,
posted that she had it for sale in this black owned bookstore here in the Dallas Fort Worth
oh,
area.
okay.
So I'm gonna try to locate that, and I'm gonna give you the information too because I want to try
Yes,
to get
please
mine when
do.
I have mine come out. So what do you think the advantages are of self-publishing versus getting a publishing company?
Well, you excuse me, you maintain full rights to your book. Like even though my book is on Amazon, and they really what they do is they print the book, and they sell it. And so if you do it that way, then you pick how you do your royalties, right? But if I ordered the book, it costs me only the printing price, right? And so that's when your network marketing skills got to come into gear, because you got to, promote and sell and get it out there, right? And so I think that that's the hard part, because maybe if you're with a publishing house, they probably push it and push you. But when you publish for yourself, the good part is, you maintain all your rights to everything. I won't say the bad part. I'll say the hard part is getting it out there. Getting the market, getting the word out, getting the
Yeah.
circulation of. But like I told you before, somebody, or maybe more than one person, my book is even on Goodreads, and that's a site where people go and let readers know what books are good to read, right? So
Good
that's
read.
been the
Hold
most
on.
challenging part for me.
Let me write it down. Good reads. Okay.
Goodreads.
Okay. What advice would you give someone writing a book though?
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Keep going. If it's to be, it's up to you. There's no reason that you can't finish. And so I tell anybody around me, what we're not going to do is say, oh, I wish I could do that, when you can just do it. You're Nike. Just do it. There's only one you. Nobody has the opportunity to step in your shoes and be you. And so you have a voice, you have a gift, and you have a reason. And nobody can, put that out there but you. So just don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people that say, ooh, so when I say, I've written a book or whatever, they be like,
Mhm.
girl, I want to write a book, or, I started writing a book, but I ain't finished. And I'm like, why
Yeah.
not? I said, everybody has a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Your story,
Right.
somebody may find your story more interesting than mine. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be a,
Right.
a, a biography, if you want to write,
But
fiction or nonfiction, I mean, a novel, some, a lot of people I think
that's
are
right.
wanting to write autobiographies, biographies, of their life now. I
Right.
say, if you have a story, tell
Right.
it. If you can help somebody, tell it. You know what I'm saying? My thing
That's
with
right.
this book, my
That's
thing with
right.
writing this book is trying to is to help other adoptees feel like they are
Oh, that's
worthy.
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Feel they are worthy, they are more than enough. And just because you have lived this life doesn't mean you have to continue to live that life.
Right.
Or you can make your life what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
A lot
That's
of
right.
adoptees come from, we experience a lot, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
mentally, you know what I'm saying? But to heal, you know what I'm saying? To heal and better yourself and to live
Well,
a better life.
I can tell you firsthand that adoptees do need that. I have a client, because I do hair too. I have a client, and she's a white woman, and she adopted 13 kids. 7 of them are all black. 2 of them are white, and the rest of them are mixed, right?
Oh
Beautiful
wow.
heart, beautiful soul. But as the kids get older, they're just like, I'm an adopt, and it's like they feel some type of way about being adopted. But she's had every single one of them from the hospital. And I know that just hearing you say that, yes, that is I never knew that until I met them. But those children are definitely going to need somebody who's been through it, who knows what it's like, because it does. I can only imagine what it's like for the child, but imagine what it's
Right.
like to the
Right.
adopted parent who really, really
Right.
loves the children that they adopted. And, they get older and it's not really what they want. I'm not
Yeah.
feeling this no more. I'm black, you're
Right.
white, or whatever the situation may be. It might have been abuse. It might have been traumatizing. I don't know. I've worked in the system, but I don't, I have never lived that way. I wasn't adopted, in other words, but they definitely, you got to tell your story.
Now, are they actually adopted, or does she do foster care?
No, she adopted them straight out. She
Oh
paid cash
wow.
money anywhere from
Yeah.
$50,000 to $80,000 for each kid.
Yeah. 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 And it costs. It
Yeah,
costs. It costs. Somebody bought me.
yeah,
That's, what I'm saying. That's the feeling that I have. Damn, I was for sale. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, they may feel the same
exactly.
way. Dang, like I don't know. Yeah, I was for sale, and
Yeah,
just
they do.
it
Well, it might not necessarily be resentment towards her, but they have some, be it you
oh, of
bought me,
course.
I feel like you feel like like I belong to you because I don't know. I know that I feel very sorry for her because the daddy died, and now it's like just her and these children, and like I said, 3 or 4 of them are 17, 16, and they're starting to. I'm an
Yeah,
adoptee and I've been, I've went through this and went through that. And the mom's kind of like, where?
right,
But when you
right,
have
right, right.
13 kids, how do you
And
know?
then and
You
then
know?
you have the kids wanting to find, their biological parents and to know where they
Yep.
came from. And then, with the adoptive mother, she
Hmm.
may feel some type of way of not wanting them to find, their biological parents. Because
No,
my
she's
mom,
open to it. She's
she's
open
open to
to
it.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Because
she's always told
my
them
mom didn't want me
everything.
to find my biological mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she did not support me at all. At
Oh,
all.
no.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
not good.
I have two siblings, and my mother was like, you know what, y'all are mine. What do you need to find her for? She didn't want you.
Oh, no.
Seriously.
That's
Yeah.
mean. That's
She said that
mean.
one time. I remember her telling me she didn't want you. Why would you go look after? Why would you go look for her some woman that didn't even want you? You know?
Wow. But
Yeah,
she's my
yeah.
mom. She's
Sure
still
did.
my mama.
Sure did. Yeah.
No,
I
like
remember that
I think
baby.
whenever people say that though, because I've had people who told me that and stuff, and I don't think they realize how hurtful that is to the child.
Yes.
I mean, it's like they feel hurt because they're like, I raised you and I love
Yeah.
you. Why am
Yep.
I not enough for you to be
Yes.
your mom? But they don't realize whenever they're saying that, like, oh my gosh, then now the kid's like, how could you say that someone didn't want me?
I remember
Right.
when I was younger, y'all. I was younger, and I was probably maybe 6 or 7, and my mama had did some more. Maybe I didn't get my way with something. I don't know. It was probably that. And I was like, I want my real mama. She said, well, if she wanted your ass, she would have kept you.
No.
But I look back at it now that what I said hurt her feelings too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
See,
her as an adult, she
absolutely.
shouldn't have said that. But I'm sure I hurt her feelings really badly, when I said
Of
I want my
course.
real
Of
mama,
course.
you know. But as an adult,
Right.
she shouldn't have said that. Because that has stuck with me
Right.
all of these years. If your mama
Yeah.
wanted you, she would have kept you. That has stuck, exactly. And she doing this. So I'm like, oh, that's true. If she wanted me, she would have kept me.
That's not true.
But you know what? You never know why a
You
hurt
don't.
mother gets it. Yeah, I mean, and
That's
I
a
just
catch
look at mine,
22.
from a blessing standpoint, right? Because I had a
Yeah.
good family. I was raised good, but
Have you met her?
I still had something missing. You know what I'm saying? I still needed
Did
that
you ever
closure,
meet her?
and in my book, it talks about all of that. From finding, from
It's called
childhood,
Body Talk.
from
Body Talk Fit on YouTube.
because girl, I used to be a whole stripper too, honey. So it talks about my stripper life. It talks about The quest for love, finding, true love. It talks about, and even loving myself. Did I really love myself? I'm searching for love, but hey, you have to love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So is that a baby?
No.
Oh. So, just finding, true love, finding my birth father, motherhood. So all of those chapters are in there, And then, I talk about my dance fitness background, with Body Talk Fit and how that came about, and, with my career, and then, all kind of stuff in there. But I always feel like I can add more to my book. It's more to my story that I'm not telling.
Right.
Which is crazy, It's more to my story that I'm not telling. And I don't know if I
tell
really
it. Tell it. Huh? It's yours. It's yours.
I know, but girl,
it's yours.
Girl, listen, baby, it's a lot of information, baby. I'm like, ooh, child.
But it is when I tell you, it's so liberating to I mean, I don't know what it is. I actually exposed my child molester a few years ago, and at first I wreaked so much havoc, but hey, it was liberating to me. Like I tell everybody, I don't care how y'all feel. Nobody tried to save that little girl. So with that being said, it's time for him to wear his own scarlet letter. I don't care how nobody feels, looks at me, and was it hard to do? Absolutely. But when I tell you I'm free from it, like completely free, I tell you to tell your story.
Tell it, yeah. Because some of the stuff that I've written in there, I'm like, I know, because I actually reread a chapter last week. And then after this sentence, after I released some information that, I don't think I've released, to anybody, right. I was like, woo, that was such a release. And I added that at the end of that sentence, right? And I was like, dang, well, just writing this book is releasing so much, so many emotions, so many feelings that I felt better, after I originally wrote that. And every time I read it, I'm like, dang, I feel much better that I got it out. I got it off my chest, Yeah. And it's a lot more that, I haven't said, but I'm like, okay, maybe if I do write it, I'll feel better,
Do you think that it's taking you so long because since it is an autobiography, are you thinking like, what is this person going to think whenever they read it? So that you like,
I don't care. I don't even care.
Selecting the correct words so that you don't offend, but yet it's still truthful. Or
I have gone back and reread a chapter, and have thought that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you always think about people judging you, right? I've been judged all my life. I still get judged every day. You know what I'm saying? If I go out somewhere, somebody gonna talk about me. That's just how it is,
Right.
I've gotten to a point where, hey, I don't try to let it affect me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about people talking about me because I've been talking about my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
yeah, that's
right. But still, yeah. I mean, in the back of my mind, I don't know. I just think about, going back and reading reviews and just people, saying stuff. I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, no, well, don't even go back and read the reviews. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't even, because some people don't have mean things to say. Some people are just mean. Yeah. Some people are just evil. Some people are just, they trolls. They just because they unhappy, it's like, yeah. So yeah, I have like reworded some things, or maybe have omitted some things because I don't want.
Don't do that. You gotta tell see, here's the thing about it. Just like the book that I'm writing now, people are like, well, what if I don't care. He's dead. And even if he does have some family members, this is part of my life. It's my story because he was a part of my story. And even though I'm telling his story, it doesn't matter. It's still my truth. And people are always going to feel some type of way. Oh, well.
Right.
You can feel that way. But for me, it's liberating. You have to, some stuff you just have to get out. You got to put it in the universe in order for the universe to do its thing. If you hold on to it, then it only builds its roots, inside of you.
Oh, say that again. Girl, say that again. Tell the people what you just said.
If you hold on to it, it only can build roots, grow roots up under you.
Oh, honey, I got a whole tree, girl. Just with limbs and leaves and everything.
Those ain't good roots. You're supposed to pluck and go.
I know. Ooh, I'm gonna cut that tree down, honey. I don't want no roots under me. And that's the thing with That's the thing with my oldest son saying, "Hey, don't put me in that book." I'm like, "This is not your life; it's my life. You are a part of my life.
Yes,
So, you know, you can't be
precisely.
that selfish of me. You know, that's selfish to say, "Hey, don't include you in the book." That's why I didn't say any names when I said son, right? I mean, that's why I said son instead of the names of my kids or whatever. And my lawyer
Hmm.
was like, "Hey, respect that." He said, "You have to respect
Yep.
your son." He said, "You don't have to do it."
I
He said,
mean,
"But respect him." And he kind of like told me a different way of how to rewrite it, right? Instead of saying my son's name, which that's why I didn't, or saying, "Hey, not my oldest son, but son," right? It was like still trying to
right.
grant his wishes, but I told him I was like, "This is not his, but this is my life, you know." And I'm sorry, maybe you sorry you're a part of my life or my child, but I'm like, this is me, this is my life, this is what I've been through, this is your mother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can't take that back.
Right.
God gave you to me, and that's just how it is. So did we lose Miss Terry? It's twirling. It's twirling. It's twirling. So if you are just now joining us again, we are talking. Well, we were talking to Miss Terry. Maybe she'll join us back. I'm sure she will. Miss Terry, about writing books. She's a self-published author of Never Too Much, Cradle to the Grave, which released in what was that, 2019?
Yes.
Yeah, the end of 2019. She's in the middle of writing another book. I don't know if the viewers, but I have written a book, and I just wanted a self-published author to come online and talk about, the process of writing the book, what she went through, and how long do you think it should take to write a book. And I don't think there's a certain period of time to write a book. I wouldn't say go a long time, because you never know what could happen, but I say everything happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I think everything happens in his timing. So I'm not trying to rush
I
it.
know
However, I don't
that.
want to wait too long, because it's been too long since I found out information, and I should have released it as soon as I found out this information, right? But we'll give it that. It's in my book on that. It took me a while because I changed the title of it. I changed the title of the book. So Miss Terry, you are back. Welcome back, Miss Terry.
Yes, ma'am. I got kicked out.
Is them your babies?
My grandsons, they are so extra. They trying to all be right. I'm like,
All right. So I got one last question for you, Miss Terry. I think, did I answer that?
yes, ma'am.
What advice would you give someone who wants to self-publish?
Say that again.
What advice would you give someone who wants to self-publish?
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Do
Just
it.
do
And
it.
ain't nothing to it but to do it. You
Now,
gotta have faith in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself, and you have to know that you are wonderfully and perfectly made. And so, just like a couple of seconds ago, before I got kicked, you were talking about, well, I don't want to put this and I don't want to do that. Well, Noel, nobody else can be Noel the way that you can be Noel. So with that being said, nobody can fill those shoes that you have. Nobody can understand your pain. Nobody can walk for you. Nobody can talk for you, and nobody can show up for you the way that you do. And so you have to know that, you were destined for greatness. And part of that greatness has to be you telling your story, because it would have never dawned on you, or it would never resonated inside of you to tell your story if it wasn't meant for you to tell it. So don't hold back. Just you got to let yourself go and be free in who you are and move forward. And in that, you will always find success. Success isn't always monetary. Success is getting what you believe, what you love, and what you want. That then you find a successful person. It doesn't always come with money. And apparently you want to, get your story out there. Once you finish writing it, the day that you put that period on there and send it in to be published, I'm telling you, it's life changing. If you never sell a copy, if you only order it for you and hold on to it, it's very liberating. very liberating. So I just encourage you to go forward and being you. I mean, you can't be nobody else.
Right, right. And
So
I know.
do it big, girlfriend.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. But so how long did it take you? So when you said period, when you put that period on there, right? So how long did it take you from when you put that period on there and you sent it to Amazon? Was it published that day on Amazon? I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
okay. So is it like
When I put my period on there, see, when you go on there, you gotta format it. So you have it formatted the way you format it, right? Well, then whenever you go over to KDP to upload it, you have to format it the way they format it, right? So you spend a little time toggling back and forth, figuring, out the page formats, where this page ends. That took me probably 2 or 3 days to get that done. And then I ordered a copy of a book, an author copy. And then once I got it, I would look at that, see what I need to change. Okay, this book don't have page numbers on it, so I need to insert the page numbers. So I would do that. So I probably went through 3 or 4 different sets of getting books published before they were correct. But I just kept doing it. And I was just telling everybody when they buy a book, hey, if you find a mistake, don't worry about it. Keep reading. Find a letter in the alphabet, put it in there, make it make sense.
Okay, so you actually uploaded it to KDP, but you didn't actually hit submit for the viewers or people to purchase it. You can upload it and order you a copy to make sure everything is correct and make changes on that KDP before you are actually ready to submit, right?
Yes, the first time I ordered 10 books, and the way that I looked at it, I just look at it like, okay, the first people that got those first 10 books, which I kept one, you got the original copy, right? So when you see the movie on the screen, your book is going to be worth some money because you get to come and say, this is her first book and it got mistakes in it. And it's only 10 of them, and that's if something didn't happen to them, right? So I'm just, I'm really good at appealing to people, and, like network marketing is a great background for anybody to have because it helps you, be able to talk to people, and you have that because when you're writing, and I do hair too. So anytime you work for yourself and you're in a service business, you're literally selling yourself, because you are your product. And so like I learned from my mentor a long time ago, he said, if you learn more about people than you do about a product, you will be successful because they're not buying. They might be buying a product or a service, but what they're really coming for is you.
Right.
So if what you're really coming for is me, and all I can do is be me, I don't got to pull out no fancy clothes and my Dorothy slippers and fix my hair all up and make sure that I fit the bill, because you are coming for me. So that means you accept me in all forms of me. So I'm going to continue to give me to the world, and the universe is abundant. It just continues to reciprocate and bless you because you are giving of yourself back into what you came from.
Girl, you preaching today, honey. Girl, hold on. I needed this, honey. This is a inspirational night. Girl,
I'm not even an author, but
hello.
I'm in the service industry.
Hello, church.
I know that what you just said can help anybody that has their own business or provides a service, or you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that just helped me in this, baby. Okay. They come, but
I can't wait to come to one of your classes. I mean, I cannot wait. I probably don't have the body talk fitness you got, but I'm coming to one.
Hold on. You need to make that drive, baby, and come get on this pole, honey.
I am. You think I'm not? She got a pole class. I'm so going.
Okay, what? You need to bring your people from there. The only 5 Black people.
Hey, I will. And you know what else? You probably could come down here and do a class once a week and have more money people than you do up there.
But you said you in the country. I don't know.
Yes, I'm sorry. Come home.
I come to you, girl. I come to you. Okay, so
come
you
on.
said that.
I'll be waiting on you.
Right. said that you uploaded it to
You're more
KDP,
than
right? And then
welcome.
you ordered 10 copies. Did you have to order 10 copies, or could you have just ordered one to make sure it was okay?
I can't even see it. Oh, it's my aim.
You was cutting out because you in the country. Y'all got good internet there.
My phone was ringing.
So did you hear the question? You want me to repeat?
I didn't hear you, love.
Okay, so when you uploaded it to KDP and you said you ordered 10 copies, did you have to order a minimum amount of copies, or could you just have ordered one to read through it to make sure everything was okay?
Yeah, you can order one. Just like this one right here is my first. I ordered this one to see what the cover is gonna look like, and you see
Okay.
how thin it is.
Uh-huh. So
And then they put not for resale on it. And so this right here is just a proof. And so you can either order a proof, which this is just a couple of dollars, right? So I ordered the proof because to see what it'll look like. And then you can, when you order the copies, you can order from 1 to 9,999.
Okay. Oh,
At
that's
a time.
good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course you want to order that proofread first.
Right.
And then go
you definitely want to see what it's gonna look like. The cool thing about it too, like I was telling you, going forward, the propaganda of it has not for resale on it. So it's easy to put this up and say, all right, guys, this is the first copy of my book, $5 raffle. Send in your $5, and on this day I'm gonna be raffling it, and you're gonna be the only person that has a copy of this book, right?
Hey, and you ain't selling it. It's a raffle.
And I mean, you selling or being sold. Are you a seller or are you gonna be sold? You either selling or being sold. That's just the way I think. So I've never had a dollar I didn't like, so I need more to come in and be friends with him.
No, that's right. Okay, so we have went over and we have covered how she has gone, what route she has gone to self-publish her book. She used Amazon. And KDP through Amazon, right? So KDP is an affiliate of Amazon. Am I saying this correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
You are.
You also mentioned Kindle Vella, right? And just go over that, what the Kindle Vella is again to the people.
Kindle Vella, they call it episodes. I say chapters because this episode and a chapter are the same thing. You upload as many as you want to. The first 3 for the reader are free. After that, they have to buy keys to read your story. And it's a wonderful way, to get yourself out there, get yourself writing. You could be writing about anything, just put the first 3 chapters up. And when you see people reading it and that they, you can even do a thing. It's called a audience poll in your episode, and you can ask them something like, in mine, what do you like? One of them's called Shiny Red Apple with Worms, and I think one of my polls says something like, do you think that a shiny red apple means A, B, or C? And then the audience picks one, and then you can put a date that is going to be the real answer is going to be out or whatever, but it's very interactive with your audience, and it definitely will get you to writing a lot more, because you want to write another chapter. But if you already have a book done and it's not finished, that's definitely a good way to put out so many chapters. And then you say you get to chapter 15 or 16 and say, that chapter say read the book available at whatever, and you've just made money off of that, and you've driven them to buy your book.
Won't they do it?
Win-win.
All right. Yeah. So you also mentioned Goodreads. We're gonna wrap
it up. Yes,
ma'am. What is the Goodreads?
So Goodreads is goodreads.com, and it's a format for readers to go and put books on that they're letting other readers know are good books for them to read. So if you put in a book in Google and you see Goodreads up under it, it's usually a review, and it's readers letting you know, depending on what genre you're in, books that they've read and what they thought about it. And so on all platforms that I have so far, I still have a 5-star rating, and my book's been published for almost 4 years.
Won't it do it, girl? All right.
Yes,
That's
you
my
will.
goal too, girl.
You can do it. You
I
can
am
do
gonna
it.
do it. I am gonna do it,
That
honey.
part. You've
I
done
am
it.
gonna
You
do
just
it.
don't let go of it.
I know, right? I'm gonna get it
See,
out.
here's the thing.
My goal is to
You
get it
think
out by
about,
Christmas. I'm
well,
gonna
if
get it
you
out by
think about
Christmas.
other people's feelings, one thing I have to remind myself of is I don't think nobody is sitting around wondering how I feel about what they're doing. So why the hell do I give a damn how they feel about what I'm doing?
Right.
Don't
So
make the math ain't mathing.
if you are writing a book, don't stop. Continue to do it. Don't give
Don't
up. Don't
stop.
give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay. Tell your story. If it's not your story and you want to tell somebody, if you want to just tell a story, if you want to write it,
Tell
nonfiction
it.
or fiction, write it. I know a lot of you that I've talked to wanted to write biographies. Write it. If you have a story to tell, make it interesting. Write.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Okay.
Right.
There are and we also didn't talk about, there's also something else called Book Baby. So y'all, self-publishing, if you want to look up Book Baby, you can look that up and do the research on that as well. Book Baby
I need to
also
look
uses
at that.
I was telling you about that. So, and also KDP, which is an affiliate of Amazon. But there's great ways to self-publish a book, and I think you can be successful doing it. I mean, you got to push it yourself, but hey, but if you have the following, and if you have an interesting story, hey, it's gonna sell. Okay, you got to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Thank you so much, Teri, for coming on
You're
here
welcome,
again.
love.
She is the
Anytime.
author of what book?
Never too
So again,
much.
never too much. Never too much. Okay, never too much. You can find her book on Amazon. It's Teri Sakena. You can find a book on Amazon. Be on the lookout.
I'm like, which way?
Christmas. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, boo. Hey,
You're welcome, gorgeous.
Tomorrow we're gonna book that pole party, or I'm gonna come to you and we just gonna have
Let's
a whole
do
dance
it.
party. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a good night.
You too.